Hey guys, it's Brian, and welcome to another Firebird Friday show. This week, we're painting the firewall on the 67 Firebird in the last part of the prep for that engine bay, so we can put a motor back in it, and we can put fenders back on it, and start sanding stuff down. Suspension will go in hopefully next weekend. I wanted to get the firewall done, that way I can put all the brake components, the power brakes, booster in, and the master cylinder all back in on a fresh firewall. So let's do the firewall first. Oh, and we got mail. It's our first video with mail. We have a cool, huge box out there that someone sent us. We're gonna find out what's in there and see if it's anything for our Firebird. So enough of this and more of this. Let's get to working. All right, guys, I'm going to do some voiceover here just because the audio in the garage today was just horrible. But first thing I was doing here was pulling off the brake master cylinder, and then that would give me access to be able to pull off that brake booster behind there. On the Firebird, the first gen, it's an easy little pin under the pedal, underneath the dash. You pull this clip, you push the pin out, and that whole power brake booster will come right out. Have a new one on order, so as soon as it comes in, we'll put that in. Of course, that master cylinder is new from last year when we redid the brakes. So at this point, the only thing that's not all been replaced on this car as far as brakes is going to be the brake lines. And I'm half tempted just to order some brake lines here before we put the motor in. That way, everything is new. But I'm wanting to do those disc brakes up front, maybe disc brakes in the back eventually. So I think for now, we'll just leave everything as is. We'll replace brake lines down the road when that day comes. So here we go. Let's pull this off. And this is the last major thing on that firewall that we need to take off before we can start sanding it down and stripping it before we apply our top coat on that. Now this here, I asked some guys up on the forum, and the best thing most people told me was this is a vacuum canister for air conditioning. Since I plan on going with an aftermarket AC unit and compressor and stuff set up on this, go ahead and take this off, just make that firewall a little cleaner without having that. I'll put it in the box with the other AC components for possibly down the road if somebody would need it or whatever, but you know. Next, I'm just going to get the sand in, taking a wire wheel to this and just kind of getting everything I can, get some of that seam sealer down off there, and get it as nice as I can. Everything was going great, getting this firewall prepped and ready, until this happens. And of course, I should have figured. I should have known. It's my brother's car. I should have known. And while I was cleaning and sanding and everything else, I found something. I'm assuming that guy right there. Well, apparently, liquid encouragement for him. And I think this is a note that I need to go get some liquid encouragement as well. So, Keith, I'm going to have to keep this bottle and look up the numbers and see what kind of bottle this is and what was in it at one time. But thanks, brother. I'll keep this as part of the build. So if you watched the last video when we did the frame, we used this Pour 15 top coat. It's a direct to metal paint. It's almost like a kind of a bed liner type feel to it and everything else. So we're gonna use this on our Firewall, give it a couple coats, see how she works out. It's about 30 bucks for a can. So we'll use this. Let's get it mixed up and we'll shoot it. This stuff is better sprayed on than brushed on, even though they do say you can brush it on or roll it on. If you're gonna spray it on, it's about 30 PSI at the gun to spray it on, and you have to have pretty much all your settings wide open because this stuff is so thick. And I'm using the Harbor Freight purple gun with its, I believe it's a 1.7 tip. But it did take a little bit to get it out, but once I got it flowing correctly, as you can see here in the time lapse, it just started rocking and rolling. It laid down smooth and beautiful. I really like this stuff. Once you get your gun set up correctly, it does come out really nice and durable. You know, we shot the frame with this Pour 15 top coat, and I banged those control arms around trying to get bushings in, and it held up really well. Only a few little spots. So big fan of this top coat from Pour 15. If you need to do your frame or do something that kind of that rubberized feel to it, I might even do the whole underside of this car when I'm done. Definitely check out the top coat by Pour 15. All right, so we got a box in from one of the subscribers that I've been following now for a while. It's John from Vinyl Village Garage. Let's see what he sent us here. It definitely looks like a 30-year-old Pappas, yes. Surprised the tape job made it. John, whoever taped it up, give that little girl a sucker or some candy. If it was you, give yourself a beer. How much tape did you have to put on it? All right, let's see what else we got here. Lots of bubble wrap. Oh. Looks like metal something. Okay. Any idea what these are? And there's something taped to the back side of this. Okay. What is that? What in the world is this? How much tape? got a Vinyl Village keychain. Check that out. And a Vinyl Village sticker. I think we're going to put this in the toolbox. This definitely has to be hung up someplace. So thank you, John. Now we need to figure out what these things are. I got an idea. Let's take these out to the Firebird. Come on. How much tape? Dear Lord. So I noticed that John had sent me a message about the Swiss cheese roof on our car here. See, all this beautiful Swiss cheese. Well, this part here is actually part of this quarter panel on the back. And I have a new roof skin coming. But this side here, and I'll show you the other side as well. But I bet you is that what I'm seeing? Like that? Maybe? No? Ah, that's it. That's how it goes, like that. New motor mounts from the boys over at Firebird Central. If anyone from any Firebird Central, NPD, Classic Industries, any of you guys watch this at all, you want to help out a little bit, I would certainly give you some love on the channel with some advertising and whatnot. But so what John has sent us are the sail panes on this car. Let's see how the other one looks. All right, you can see over here. Maybe the other side is much more damaged, but definitely gonna need replacement. So that's what these bad boys are. Sweet. All right. Pretty cool, I think, since we got those. And mine goes more like that because of the everything else. And cool. Wow. Won't be long before we rip the top off this and weld in a new top. Now we have these and a new back one here, as you can kind of tell. That's holy as well. This has been the biggest amount of rust on the whole car that I can find, except for some pinholes in the floor. So cool. Thank you, John. If you guys have anything you see I need, drop me a line or send it to me. There's an address down below that you can send that stuff to. If they're really big boxes like this one, hit me up directly and I can give you a work address to send it off to. So cool. Well, I'm totally happy. Thank you so much. If you guys do not watch John's YouTube channel, it is Vinyl Village Garage. There'll be a link down below to his. He has, I think, 5 first-gen Firebirds in his garage. So definitely, if you're a Firebird guy and an F-body guy, go check out John's. But we're now getting just every day a little closer. So let's get back to that Firewall and paint it up so that way we can move on to putting some suspension in and a new brake booster. It never ends. It never ends around here. All right, so there she is. I can get out of the light here. Got that Firewall sprayed down with the Pour 15 top coat. Just gonna let it bake here in the Arizona sun before I pull off all the masking. So that's good to go. We can now get the power brake booster on. We're gonna buy a new one of those, start reassembling all of our brakes, get our lines run, and I think then next week we'll start with the assembly of our suspension pieces to get them all back on and get them rocking and rolling. So Firewall is done. The frame is done. The suspension is all ready to go back in real soon before she's back on the ground, and we're gonna be putting in one of them motor things right here. All right, guys, that will wrap up this episode of Firebird Friday. Big thanks to John over at Vinyl Village Garage for sending us these cell panes for our 67 hardtop. Next week, I'm hoping to start getting the suspension all put back together. Make sure to tune in for that. Please like and subscribe if you like what we're doing here. Thanks so much, guys. See you next week.